Good evening, everyone. So today here we are for session number 22, NEP 2020 on the IDYM platform. The topic is about brain development at an early age. So we have esteemed panelists over here, esteemed early childhood educators who have in-depth experiences and a lot to share about what is actually brain development. So I take forward my privilege to invite Ms. Sutapa Nandi ma'am to take this stage on the forefront and be present with her amazing experiences and insightful information. Welcome, ma'am. Please welcome. Sutapa Nandi ma'am.
Yes, yeah, 1 second. There's some
Good evening. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sonal ma'am, and very heartiest gratitude to IDYM, Ravi sir, and of course, I shouldn't forget Sonal ma'am. You're doing an incredible job, commendable. The kind of patience, the kind of initiative you have taken to bring together all of us and coming up with so nice topics, which is the need of the hour. And we have esteemed speakers, and I'm sure I'm going to equally learn something or the other. There will be so much to take away from this session from each one
Today,
of you.
ma'am, we are going to share what is missing. So let us all bring back the pieces of the missing puzzle rather than what has already been said. So looking forward to hear from you what is missing.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much once again. So, yes, as the topic says, brain development at a very early age. So, the early years of a child's life are very important. We all know that. And, without being repeating the same thing again and again, it is indeed very important for every child's health and an holistic development. It's not only about the mental development, it's an emotional development, the spiritual development. Although the brain continues to develop and to change into adulthood, but the first 5 years from the birth, in fact, I would say from the time the child is inside the fetus until the 5 years are the main years of developing. That's why it's very been rightly said, and we should all focus on the mindful parenting. All parents, all adults who are taking care of any child or who are the caregivers of a child must be conscious, develop, give their best towards the development of the child. Now, children are born ready to learn over many years, and they depend on parents, they depend on family members, and later comes the teachers. They are, I would say, the parents and the caregivers and the other family members are the first teachers to develop the right skills and to make a child a successful adult in their life. Grows is strongly affected by the child's experiences with the other people and the world. Nurturing care for the mind is critical for a brain's growth. Expert tells that 90% of all brain development occurs by the age of 5, as I already mentioned. And the most important thing is that we parents need to understand that we are we are responsible for their brain's development, and we will exactly make the child the way he is exposed to. The kind of environment he's been exposed to is going to be the main criteria, the main reason of how the child's brain is being developed. So this is, I would say, the human mind is a mirror to a child's developmental experience. Different areas of brain are responsible for different abilities like movement, language, and emotion, and develop at different rates. Brain development builds on itself, our connections eventually link with each other in more complex ways. Now, I would like to, give you few bullet points on which we all know, but somehow in this 21st century, or where probably parents are all working, or maybe there are other people taking care of child, we are forgetting these things. So I would like to highlight on these things. Now, the three C's in conscious and mindful parenting. First C is communication. The second C would be connection. And the third C would be correction. Connect before you correct. And communicate before you connect. So the first C plays the most important role in the development of a brain of a child. That is the communication. And sharing is the key. Here comes the sharing part. What I mean by sharing is talking is sharing. Asking questions is not sharing. As parents, we need to be mindful and conscious enough of what we are talking, what we are sharing with our child. Now, 99% of parents ask questions to get informations. Supervisory parents, the kind of mindset of parents we have is that parents feel that it's our right to ask or ask
Excuse
questions
me,
from our
ma'am.
children.
Can I take 1 minute from you? I will request all the other participants who are there on the screen to please mute yourself. We are not able to hear Sutapa, ma'am. Please mute yourself. Let us give respect to the person who is speaking. Thank you.
Now, loving relationships with responsiveness, dependable adults are essential to a child's healthy development. These relationships begin at home with parents and family members, but also include childcare providers. It can be teachers and other members in the community. From birth, young children serve up invitations to engage with their parents and other adult caregivers. Babies do it by cooing, by crying, by smiling, and toddlers are able to communicate in a little more direct way, able to express their interest. Now, each of these little invitations is an opportunity for the caregiver to be responsive to a child's needs. This process is known as serve and return process. And communication plays a very important role in this process. When I say communication, another part comes to a very important part comes in the communication is listening. We need to listen to our children, listen to their needs, listen to their interests. And if we are listening to their small talks today, they will be listening to our big talks tomorrow. So we need to listen with all our ears. And when I say communicate, most of the time, as parents or as adults, we feel that asking questions is communicating. Asking questions is talking. No, talking is sharing. Probing is not sharing. Probing is not talking. Talking is a friendly mindset where we are trying to focus on the emotion and the feelings of a child. Talk about feelings, talk about emotions. It's more like an intent that parents are passing on to the children. Questions leads to probing, and probing can never build that trust which communication can do. Talking is good for trust. We all know that the more we share, the more we talk our heart out, we can be connected, we can be well connected to each other. And in these three C's, the correction comes the last. But we sometimes, as adults, whenever we are dealing with toddlers or even infants, we correct them on the spot. We try to show that we are adults. That's why whenever we see anything wrong going on, we are correcting them on the spot. But why not focus on the good part? And even if we are correcting, let's show them what is to be done rather than what wrong they have done. So this would be a right approach towards correction. Second would be quality time. Now, in this busy, day and night with working parents, and where most of the parents are working, we have seen that we are trying to compensate our presence with present, but that doesn't work with children. We need to spend quality time with them. And when I say quality time, it means we need to play with them, sing with them, dance with them, read stories to them. We need to be children with children. If we try to be adult all the time with children, the connection will not be built, and we will not be able to play that important role in the development of the brain. So, yes, when you talk to your child, when you play with them, when you do something together, even watching a simple movie together, that will build the connection. And that will be a way you can show the child that family is important. We can show that togetherness is important. We can teach them empathy. We can show them how important is listening in our life. In olden days, we had this, and I'm sure we all will agree that if I ask you a question, that if we used to make mistake when we were a child, we had this typical parenting, which is known as the carrot and stick. Carrot and stick means you do good, you get good. You do bad, you get bad. And we have been grown up. A lot of children have been, they have grown up with this kind of parenting. But in today's world, it doesn't work. With our children, this will not work. This might be a kind of a crime. We cannot show them that do good and you'll get good. And if you do bad, probably you'll get a beating, you'll get a scolding, you'll get a screaming. No, because we are trying to show them that the negative part of parenting. Catching people doing wrong things and correcting them on spot is what we do. As I already mentioned, we get triggered so quickly to correct them. But to pass on the appreciation, gratitude, and recognition is not there. So carrot and stick is a kind of punishment, which is not a workable and a standardized tool in today's parenting or parenthood. Today's structure is modern parenting, which I would say is award and ignore. I would like to mention a name of a book written by Ken Blanchard. The name of the book is Well Done. You read the book that mentions about modern parenting, and it has so many examples showing about the award and ignore process. And this process of parenting came into existence, came into use in 1960. So the difference between the carrot and stick and award and ignore is very simple. The focus of carrot and stick is correcting, and the focus of award and ignore is 95% of what's going right and not to focus on what's going wrong. So all expectations must be appreciated. It should be recognized and awarded. Do not value those things which is not happening, instead of appreciate what is happening. So I'll give you an example to be more specific about it. If a child gets 14 out of 20 and the father saw the report card and he saw that the child got 10 out of 20 last time, and this time he was expecting the child to get 18 out of 20. So definitely the child didn't meet the benchmark of the father. So first option is the father would say, my son, I'm disappointed. You haven't achieved the benchmark even. The second option would be the father can say, my son, you did a wonderful job, but what I expected is at least 18 out of 20. The third option would be, my son, you did a wonderful job. You are amazing, but this is not as per your potential. You can score better. And the fourth option would be, my son, you did a wonderful job. Your efforts helped to score higher. Continue the same efforts, and I'm sure that you have great potential to learn and score more. So I would say the fourth option is the best way, wherein the father is appreciating and focusing on his efforts that he got from 10 to 14. and also encouraging that he can get more marks. So here works the sandwich approach, wherein you are appreciating, then comes the middle layer where you are correcting, and then again the last layer where you are again appreciating. So the award and ignore method comes into modern parenting, and that is a mindful and a conscious parenting. So I would conclude here by saying, and in nutshell, I would say that yes, indeed, as parents, as caregivers, as adults, not only adults who are as family members, also people who are around us, it's our responsibility that if we want our next generation, our children, to have a better future, to have successful lives, to be potential, to be skillful, we need to give them, we need to create that environment wherein they can have the bestest way, they can get the best way to develop their brain right from childhood. Because yes, brain keeps on changing even during the adulthood, but the foundation, if it goes wrong, the building cannot be strong enough. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful, Sutapa ma'am. The three things that I like from you is that the way you said that we need to give quality time, even if it is just for 1 hour also per day. And I remember we had this ad on the TV where the daughter and the father are having a conversation, and the father is saying to the daughter, "Your birthday is coming. What do you want?" So the daughter is trying to say, "I will request Manjeet ma'am to kindly adhere to the guidelines." Manjeet ma'am, please mute yourself. Manjeet ma'am, will appreciate if you please listen to the participant here. Please. Yeah. So, yeah. So I remember that the father and the daughter were having a discussion, and the father asked the daughter, "Your birthday is coming. What do you want?" So the daughter is saying, "Let the birthday come near. Let me think and decide." She was very smart enough that how she can trick her father into having the presence of a father. Like you said, parents are now negotiating their presence with the presents. So children don't want presents. Children want the presents. So she asked her father, "How much do you earn in a day?" The father said, "This is the amount I earn in a day." The daughter told her that, "Okay, I have this much money collected in my piggy bank. Will you give me one day? I will pay you for that one day." So the presence of the father is connected with the financial aspect of the father being present with the daughter. So you have so wonderfully said that parents need to create a mark over here. And the way you said about how you need to shift the parenting strategies, that rather than saying no or bombarding the child, it is better to be affirmative but in a different way. I think during pandemic, the children have been very resilient enough to handle the pandemic. And children were like, "Okay, I have got 45 out of 50." So the parents were like, "What were you doing? Why is 5 marks less?" So that mark aspect has to be taken away. The quality of the mental health of the child has to be taken into consideration, because children have been so affected and they have been smart enough to handle the pandemic. So mental health was at stake. And the third that I liked about you is the way you have said that the carrot effect. So can you just give me one idea? I would like to ask you one question, ma'am. Sutapa ma'am, can I take the privilege? Yeah. So the carrot effect, what do you think? What kind of teaching or a parenting strategy is it? You're mute, ma'am. You're mute.
All right. So, as I was mentioning that in the early days, even I would say, if I, express my experience, if I share my experience, I would say that there were days when we were told that if you do this, you will get this. If you are doing your homework on time, I'll be taking you to the park. Or let's say, if you're not doing your homework, your burger is cancelled for tonight. So this is like, you do good, you get good. And if you are not doing, you're not getting what you are expecting. So this is like on the, I would say, the initial stage. But gradually, when the stage increases, it comes to the screaming, beating, and many children are being abused as well. In fact, by their own parents, they have been beaten, they have been physically tortured, and that leads to a mental torture later. We feel that just raising or slapping a child, it's momentary, but no, it's not. Because that might be momentary for us, but for toddlers or for kids who are just at that growing stage, they are growing at the same time their brain is also growing. And when you are showing that kind of affection, being parents, that stays in their mind forever, for lifetime. That's why if you have seen many children who have not got that environment, or I would say who have been growing up in an environment where there was physical abuse, where there was a lot of disagreements, or there was no consensus between the parents, they used to fight amongst each other, children become very, they become very, their mental growth, I would say,
Stagnates.
it becomes very static, and they're not able to grow to that level what they would have been if they would have been given an environment where there was more of love, more of affection, where they have seen that parents loving each other. They would have understood what relationship is all about. But then, for example, if they have seen their parents fighting all the time, they will develop a feeling that I don't want to get married, probably, when in the later age. So this would be like a negative environment what as adults or as caregivers we are creating, and that would lead to a wrong brain development. And that is carrot and stick. That initial stage starts and then ends up into the physical abuse or mental abuse. And on the other hand, I was telling you, avoid and ignore is we appreciate the little things. I would like to give an example here. Let's say a child is drawing something on the wall. As parents, or I would say as adults, this is a general way to react to this, that don't draw on the wall. This would be the generic statement from any adult seeing a child drawing on the wall. But instead of saying don't draw on the wall, why don't we show them where they are supposed to draw? Why don't we bring a paper and a pen or a pencil and show them that, child, my son, my daughter, you're supposed to draw in the copy, right? So we are showing them the right way instead of focusing on the wrong way, what they have done. Yes, it's wrong, but the moment they know what is right, they will be, shifting their focus from the wrong to the right. And it works. And from now onwards, they will not be drawing on the wall because they already know that I have a paper and a pencil in front of me where I need to draw.
Yeah, I think, that's it. Yeah, exactly. That is the need of the hour. You have to shift the focus in a very positive way. So, like you have said, I think parents had counseled me also. My children are drawing on the wall. What is the next alternative that we can do? So, what I used to tell them, why don't you buy a black color chart paper, stick it on the wall, draw on the wall. You have special dusters for chart paper erasing. Even if they don't want to sit on with the paper and the copy, just stick chart papers in some portion of the wall. Let them draw. Because why they want to draw on the wall? What do you think that they have this urge to draw on the wall? What do you think? Why? Do you think that there is some kind of insecure, trapped emotion that enables them to keep drawing on the wall? It gives them comfort. They are not able to express their frustration. They are not able to express what the parents are doing in the house, the fighting and the relationship factor. So that is the way they draw on the wall to release their emotions on the wall by just scribbling that randomly. So wonderful, ma'am, wonderful. And we'll come back to you with another set of questions in the end. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to call Neha Sharma, ma'am. Most privileged. Please take the center stage, ma'am.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, actually I am logging in from two places in phone and laptop because there is some problem in my laptop for the sound. and I
Okay.
wanted to share my screen, so I'm using laptop.
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
fine?
Yeah, you can show.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So
If your content is 100% unique, your own original content, please
yes,
feel
yes.
free to share. Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
will share it. And the thing is, I will also talk little bit about the NEP and all,
Yeah.
but my most focus is on the personal experience related to this brain development at an early age. Okay, so thank you so much, Sutapa ma'am. Your talk was extremely good. I was it was so interesting, and because I also have two kids, so I also learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am and IDYM Foundation for giving me the opportunity to speak on such a important topic and which is really close to my heart. I am Dr. Neha Sharma, and I would start with the quote of the day, that is, the children are like clay, and the way you mold them is the way they become. Okay, so it depends on us how good we are at molding them into a pot or destroying their mental and physical health. So it all depends on we adults, whether we are parents or teachers, and or the government as a whole, who are deciding these policies for the development of the children. So basically, with my introduction, I would also like to tell more about how I am helping the kids. So I am basically I'm a spiritual scientist, and I am continuously finding the connection between the spiritual and the scientific world, so that we can come up with something doable on daily basis, so that we can become stress free. As I am a stress management and an inner wellness coach, so I'm continuously working on the stress part of our life. Um, I am a certified life transformation and mindfulness coach, so I also help in mindfulness session and meditation sessions. I believe in that spiritual childhood gives stress-free adulthood, which means that if we are spiritual right from the childhood, then, because I have seen people like my grandparents and the people like in that age above 60 and 70, people lose their mental health. If they, and I have seen, I have correlated that the people who are spiritual, who have faith in something superpower is there, and you can surrender to that superpower, those people have really good mental health. Their willpower is good to deal with the diseases if they face any diseases in that old age. So I thought that if the people who are spiritual in nature, right from the childhood, they have stress-free adulthood. So I came up with Hanuman Tales series, because I am very much connected to the Hindu mythology. So I started with the Hindu mythological stories, in which I illustrate interesting. I help kids in understanding through interesting illustration, and then I also give practical implementation from them. I would like to give example. My first book is 12 Magical Life Lessons from Hanuman Chalisa, and this is the cover page of it. It is completely designed to make it
Ma'am,
interesting for the
your
kids.
Neha, ma'am, your
Yes.
slideshare is not being shown.
Okay. It is not.
Yeah.
We
No.
cannot
Yeah.
see. So okay, I'll again do it.
Yeah.
Shall I share the
Mm.
whole screen? Right? Is it
Do it
visible
on the.
now?
Do it on the. Yeah. Perfect.
Visible?
Yes.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So so I was talking about spiritual childhood gives a stress-free adulthood, and this is my first book, in which I have taught 12 magical life lessons from Hanuman Chalisa, in which it is going to be like this. I'm not doing the marketing of the book. I would be coming to the point that here there will be uh, uh, the chopai from the Hanuman Chalisa and its meaning, which is very easy to understand for the kids, and then I will help them in implementing it in their real life. For example, like Mahavir Vikram Bajrangi Kumati Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi. So it means that you are extremely brave. Hanumanji was extremely brave, and his organs are hard like strong weapons, and he can remove all the bad thoughts very easily, and he is a friend of good thoughts. So from here, the kids can take the life lesson that you should be so strong, you should have so strong and positive personality that you can remove the negative thoughts from everyone's mind and fill them with positivity. Means Kumati is wrong thoughts, bad thoughts. You should try to remove the bad thoughts from the people around you, from your friends' mind, and you should be the friend of good thoughts. You should try to inculcate good thoughts in your the people around you. So, for example, if people are fighting, you should go and try to help them in calming down and make try to make them friends. So it is the whole book is about 12 magical life lessons in which I am trying to teach the value education to the kids in the form of beautiful illustration from Hanuman Chalisa. So this is my initiative to develop value education right from the childhood. So now I will be talking little bit about the NEP 2020. So before NEP 2020, right to education was not a fundamental right from the age of 3 to 6 years. But then at that time, the academic structure was like this. From 6 years of age, the academic structure started, and before that, there was nothing for the children. Now the things have changed, and new curriculum structure has the foundation for the age of 3 to 6 and 6 to 8 years, that is till class second. So this was the foundation. This is the foundation years in which the kids are not going to just learn the subjects, but they should be able to be prepared for the upcoming education. And then it is the preparatory stage, then the middle stage, and then the secondary stage, uh, secondary curriculum. And the reason behind changing this whole curriculum was that most of the development takes the brain development takes before the age of 6 years. So if we are not trying to give them the stimulation to their brain in a structured form, then the healthy brain development and growth is not going to take place. So the whole curriculum has changed after that. But I would also like to discuss my experience regarding this in after few slides. So in NEP 2022, it was said that this early childhood care and education is the precursor to the school education. Just they get prepared, they prepared for the actual education. And after starting this the pre-primary section, giving emphasis on the pre-primary section, the school education, the enrollment, that is the admissions, increased, and it also reduced the dropouts. Why? Because during the childhood, during the early childhood, that is the pre-primary section, when the children are getting interesting activities to engage, they develop interest in education, and that's why after a few years, when the actual education starts, there is a reduction in the dropout rates. So this is also little theoretical, but I would have to discuss this so that I can connect my experience with this. So sustainable development goal number 4, that is which is the global indicator. It indicates what? It indicates the early childhood student participation before primary school. So the admissions before primary school. Okay. So it was seen that after implementing all these policies globally, there was the increase in this early childhood participation, that is the admissions in school, from 65% in 2002 to 75% in 2020. And it was a huge shift, right? So and in India, uh, by 2020 it was 87.2%. The primary education reached 87.2%, and by 2025 it is the target is 95%, and by 2030 the target is 100%. And in this age, that is the pre-primary stage, there will be the focus on physical, motor, cognitive, socio-emotional, ethical, cultural, and all those things which are important to mold the child's overall personality, and not just the literacy and the numeracy development skills. These are important, but all other things are also important, which will help them in their after education. So, and it will be done by NCRT, as it is already known to everybody. Then I'm not going to talk about this Anganwadis and all. I will be discussing my example with this. I think everybody is aware of all these things. So, actually, when this all started, there was a big problem that in urban areas, it was like alphabets and numbers up to 100 should be taught before first class, but in rural areas still there was storytelling and songs and poems going on. It was just because there was no clarity of the curriculum which has to be there. That's why it has to they have to start this. Now there was this kind of problem, and today even after implementing all these policies, still there is no clear roadmap. And the thing is that if the policies are there on paper, it should be implemented. I would like to share my personal example. Actually, I was thinking of starting my NGO, in which I would try to inculcate value education in the kids. So I went to many Anganwadis to understand what is going on there, and I was shocked to listen that all these things are there on paper, but in Anganwadis still there is a problem that kids only come for the food, the meal. They gather there for the meal, and they sit there. They again, it's just little bit of oral going on there, the storytelling, or maybe little bit, and not a real sort of learning. There was not a single toy in the Anganwadi. There was nothing which will help them in their cognitive and the motor development. So all these things, I felt that on the ground level the things are missing. So there should be a clear roadmap, and the implementation should be done properly. Secondly, this is about the government part, but I was really shocked to see that still the private schools are also having little problem at their place, because in the November, this just after the pandemic, when the school started, my daughter was 3 years or something. So I thought that let me send her to a nearby school, so that she will start she would know how to be away from mother. And then from March onwards, I will send her to a proper school. So I went and saw one good huge building, and uh, everything was looking that they are really having good knowledge of how to handle the pre-primary students. So I admitted her there. Now what happened is that I am not a person who is away always after the children to study. And actually, I used to stay in Amsterdam, and my elder daughter started her education there. So there they don't focus on writing at all till the age of 4 or 5. They say that no need to give them pressure to write here. Their brain should develop, so let them be engaged in activities. So I was very much assured that even if she doesn't learn a single word of writing ABCD or 1 2 3, then also it's okay. She should learn the social skills there. She should learn other skills there, and she was extremely good at role plays, drawing, and she used to express her things so well. Like, she was very good at public speaking. Also, she has no stage fear, nothing. But I was shocked to hear from, and then when I admitted her, one of my friend also admitted her daughter in the same school, and she was between 2 and 3 years of age in the same nursery class. I was like very much shocked to hear that the principal himself, who claimed to be a educated person, he appointed the nursery trained teachers. He himself said that, your and the other your friend's daughter is, they are in the dumb category because they cannot write. So I said that I don't want her to write also. So I don't want, I want her to be, to come here and feel the environment of the school. So it's okay. So he labeled me as a, irresponsible mother who doesn't want to teach the child. I said it's okay, I'm okay. But then it went on to a level that my friend also got the complaint for her daughter. And then she was because of that pressure, her daughter was not also three, she did not complete 3 years also, and she was so much and tensed for her daughter, that, and that girl was extremely good, like I would say, in everything. She was riding a cycle which even a 5-year-old would not ride. She was very good at contemplating things and making stories, and she had so many positive things in her. But the school only saw that it was she cannot write abcd, because we parents did not promote it at home also, that it's okay, they are going there for enjoying the school, so it's okay. Then what happened, uh, uh, people in her home, she was in a joint family, they started calling her nursery fail. And when they started calling her nursery fail, I was so disappointed that if your child is so intelligent, and if you are labeling her as nursery fail, throughout her life she will feel that she is a dumb student. Okay, and in school also teachers are they started putting making them sit on floor, so that because they don't write, because they are in the dumb category. So I was shocked. I said that this is not going to happen. I was very strong in that, but my friend was not that strong enough to understand all these things. So what she did, she she did 2 hours of coaching class, the tuitions for the child, who would teach her to write. So I was like, why are you creating so much pressure on the child? And she stopped playing, and it was a trauma for her. The education became a trauma for her. So um, uh, I think that if all these policies are there on paper, now what will happen to this child when she will, like, I told my daughter that you are perfect, no need to think so much about it. But I was really worried about the child whose parents did not understand their child. So I really want that if all these things are on paper, they should be implemented also. So at the implementation level, I think the things are not really happening the way they are on paper. So it is, this is my experience. Now again, these are the things which most of the people know, so I would just quickly give, I would just quickly tell it that this pre-primary education is just a preparatory stage in which they get prepared to for the primary education and the further education, and it helps them in long term development. And in this stage, we have to give them the stimulating environment to grow, not only grow in terms of writing or reciting poem, the rhymes, or telling the abcd, but in terms of everything, the mental growth should be there, and all sorts of development should be there. They should be provided opportunity in schools as well as at home. Then, like in Anganwadi, I said that they are going just for meals. So, along with the health and nutrition, learning should also be given the equal opportunity. And things should be done not in a formal way, structured way, that by the end of nursery, they should know capital abcd and 1 to 20, writing and reading and everything, recognition. No, it should be according to the child's interest and priority, so that they develop interest in studies, not they become scared of studies. And now again, the things are there in the schools which are actually for these things like the Bachpan, and there are many preparatory schools these days, but they are charging really high fees. So if a low income person wants to give all these things which are mentioned in the NEP policy, then they cannot afford it. They have to send it to a normal school, and then again the kids will suffer the same thing which was there before these policies. So they should be given the chances to speak, listen, and express themselves in school as well as at home. But I am right now, because we are talking in terms of NEP context, that's why school should give them the opportunity for all these things, not just the the target should not be given to the teachers to complete only A to Z. It should not be like that. And the objective should be the overall development, so that they get prepared for the lifelong learning. They should not get the fear of studies. It should be physical development, health, nutrition. And the physical development also includes the posture and the capacity for activities, that is increasing their stamina to work. They should be taught the habits of cleanliness, adequate nourishment, like the knowledge of junk food and the healthy food, because in big schools it is given, but in again the schools which I'm talking, they don't talk about all these things. Then training and exercises should be there, playground activities should be there, so that the kids get opportunities, the stimulus to their brain to respond to those activities. Then emotional development should be there with the help of role plays and all, so that they know how to play a character of something. Then good behavior patterns should be taught, as I'm trying to do with the help of my books. Then development of senses and mental life. Mental life is very important, because I am a stress management and inner wellness coach. I think the mental health is being ignored in our society. It should be the first priority along with the physical health. Then the challenges which NEP is face, the challenges which are there is because of the lack of awareness and clarity in the schools also, and even for the parents. Even parents doesn't know all these things, and the schools also doesn't know exactly what they have to do. They are hiring the 12th pass teachers who can just teach them A to Z. They don't, even the teachers will talk to the kids in the way which is very very toxic for the kids in the long run. Then the challenges are also the mother language, because at this stage the everything should be in the mother language, the mother tongue, which is missing in our policy. Then changing the mindset, as I said, that if the mindset is just teaching writing ABCD and all, then it is not going to help. The policies is not going to help, so it is going to involve two to uh, or maybe more generations of parents, teachers, and grandparents and educators to develop the way the things are mentioned in the policy. And a trained and dedicated teacher should be there. The mindset of the teacher should also be focused. Digital connectivity should be there, which is also challenging, because in the rural areas digital connectivity is not there. So if the training is done through digital connectivity, the teachers will also not have to go very far to get the change in their mindset, and it will be easy for them. Next is next is the access of such good schools I'm talking about should be very near to the home, because I also did a mistake of sending the child to a near home school just for the commutation thing. But if they get good quality, like we can afford, but the people, lower middle class people and the low class people cannot afford it. So the access should be near their home, so that even if the father has gone for the work, the mothers can easily send the kids to the school, and they get the real good education which is mentioned in the NEP. And then again, the training support for the teachers, and like I was talking about, the principal also. The principal also had no idea about it. So there should be it should be compulsory for everybody to have that mindset, so that our next generation doesn't suffer the way we suffered. So again, the devil lies in the details. When we go into the depth and the implementation part, then the problem comes. Everything looks very good on paper. So I think implementation should be focused now. Thank you so much. Just a minute. Stop sharing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And you have elaborated multi-dimensional aspect. I'm sorry to say I'm down with sore throat today,
No
so I
problem.
won't be able to raise my voice today. So a lot of aspects have been covered by you regarding the training of the teachers and inclusion of principals, because I have seen that there are so many other teachers who are not aware of having a good mentor also for them. So the
Right.
principals have to step in and take charge of this situation and start mentoring the teachers also now,
Right.
because teachers should be free enough to share their grievances with the principal. The principal is always ready to bring out a change in the system, but because of that tag of principal has made the people so scary
Yeah.
that educators don't go out and share their grievances because of, I think, fear of losing the job or fear of not being up to mark or being in the competition race. So these kind of things should have to be eradicated now. It has to be a very flexible system. And as you have stated that all the training modules should be well in dimension, all the spectrum of the education landscape has to be changed. So wonderful. Just one thing I would like to ask you is that you have covered all the NEP aspects and everything, but considering the brain development, what do you think? What kind of any negative change from the teacher? The teachers are not able to handle the situation. How will it affect the brain of the child if they are not on par with the teaching standard age appropriately? So, just
Right.
one or two examples you can just tell me, ma'am.
Yes. Actually, after pandemic, if a child, can you hear me?
Yes, no, yeah, speak. No, no.
It's mute,
Yeah.
Dr. Neha.
Yes. So, no problem. I'll call you in the end of the session. I would like to call Iman ma'am to please be the co-host for the remaining part of the session today. Please take the privilege to host ma'am today. Thank you so much.
Hello, my dear sister. Hello.
Good evening. Yeah.
Good evening, my dear sister. Thanks for all your respected efforts. Really, all of us are highly appreciate you. So please take a rest. I'll continue. Now, let's call our dear sister, Miss Hardiana Diu. She is from Malaysia. She is our colleague. It's not the first time of her with us. So let's appreciate and welcome our dear sister, and let's ask Dr. Sunil Haj to take a rest, please. I'll continue. Don't worry. So, welcome, my dear sister. Please open your mic.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for IDYM and Sunal Mom, Iman Mom, and all the MN speakers and also listeners for being here with all of us with this lovely theme. My name is Hardiana Dinfika from Indonesia, not Malaysia. And now I'm going to share my screen.
Sorry, I forget and say Malaysia.
Yeah, I'm from Indonesia, but that's okay.
Indonesia. I think the two countries are sisters. So most welcome, our sister from Indonesia. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Most welcome.
Is it visible?
Yes, excellent.
Okay, first of all, I'd love to introduce myself. As Iman already said, my name is Hardiana Nifka. I'm an entrepreneur, researcher, and certified health practitioner and life coach, certified meditation teacher, certified energy and boundaries practitioner, certified sound wave healing therapy practitioner, and mental health advocate. So this topic, it's really such a lovely topic for me. And the previous speakers already explained well, and I'd love to continue some part of it. So the development of the brain is influenced by many factors, including genetics, prenatal environment, and postnatal environment as well. So it's not only 100% from the genetics. And the brain is one of the most complex structure in nature, and it's made up billions of neurons and trillions of synapses. Like you can see in the videos here, I hope it's visible. This is the example of how our brain looks like. There's so many million neurons, and there's a synapses try to connect and wire each of times we are trying to do something. And a child's brain will have developed its basic system by the time they are 5 years old. Like Sutamamam already mentioned about it before, but actually they still continue to grow until they are 20. So let's say the first 25 years, it's going to be a great time to develop the brain. So during this period, a new connection will be made between nerve cells as well as within each cell itself as synapses develop. And these changes are critical for maintaining health, but also adapting for a rapidly changing environment such as life on the earth. So when we are doing something, let's say when the child trying to explore a new thing, even just for trying to grab something new, then the brain is going to create a new neurons, and they're trying to wire, especially when there's a repetition, it gets stronger. It strengthens the neurons, and it's going to be like the brain used to it, and it helps the children to get used to that activity and can do it much better at the next time. And it's important to know that the brain development in a child is different from an adult. And the brain development at a much faster pace, and there are many more neural connections. And these connections are called synapses, and they help transmit information to other parts of the brain. And it's important to know that in children, these synapses are constantly being created and destroyed as the child learns new things. And this process of creating new synapses while destroying old ones helps the brain learn new skills faster than adults. Like we all have millions of neurons in our brains. And the thing in the child is that when they try to develop or learn new skills, the neuron itself can destroy and also can create it at the same time. That's why we can say like, okay, the children can remember things or learn things much easier. It's not only because we as adults got more neurons. As we grow older, we develop much more million neurons on our brain, but it's also because the neurons on children's brains can destroy by the time as well. So let's say they have more space than adults. That's why it makes the connection, the link, and everything for the children seems like faster than adults. So we have like approximately like 86 million neurons and are constantly firing in our brains. This connection, like you can see in the videos, it called synapses, and this two pink side is it called neurons, and they're trying to transmit the information each time we are doing something. And we get 60,000 till 80,000 thoughts every day. And 80% is a negative, and 95% is repetitive. It sounds really like, is that even real? Like, oh my God, I might have a 60% negative thoughts. But don't worry, because there is so much higher amount, like repetitive thoughts on your mind, because remember that habitual thoughts from neural pathways can be rerouted to form new pathways and evoke positivity. That's why when we do something wrong, for example, when we made a mistake and we try to do it again, and we form a repetition, we might get a better result. Because our neurons can evoke in positive ways. as long as we try it again and we try to make the neurons connection stronger. When the synapses get stronger, it helps our brain get what actually we want much easier. So many people wonder why they should start teaching their children at a young age. A lot of parents think their kids are too young to understand and they themselves are not capable of teaching them. And parents need to start early when it comes to educating their children because it helps the child learn faster, retain more information for a longer time, and develop skills earlier in life. And also makes it easier for the child to learn new things later in life, which will prepare them for grade school and high school. So maybe some parents have a thought or have an idea, okay, let's teach us something later, or maybe because they are too busy to teach them. Actually, it's not about the too young to learn something. It's about where we are going to start to teach them. I mean, like we kind of put something impossible if you want to put 5 years old to teach to learn algebra, right? Or maybe it's kind of impossible if you want 5 years old children to learn about maybe something like an orchestra, even though we might introduce kind of song and instruments since the baby, but it's kind of impossible to ask them to play something in a big orchestra or some theater. Because one of the most important times to be communicating with your baby and for your baby to communicating back to you is during months before and after birth. And at this time that their brains are growing and developing at the fastest pace. So it's vital for parents to take advantage of opportunities for interaction. And there are so many research on the subject shows that communication between parents and babies during these times lead to an increased capacity for learning as well as improved language skills in the babies later on. So maybe we cannot think like, I don't want to put so much things or so much weight on my babies or my children or my kids. But all we need to aware as parents or caregivers is we have to understand the milestone. We only have to follow some stuff or maybe some journeys that other people already succeed in their children. Just because we haven't done it earlier in our younger age, it doesn't mean we cannot explore something. That's why it's really important as well for the parents or caregivers or teachers or adults to be someone with a growth mindset. So it means like when you have a growth mindset, you want to explore something new, you want to develop something new, especially for the better future for your children or for your student as well. So it's really important to understand the milestone in itself instead of refusing to try to teach the children or the babies about some stuff. Because if we try to put the generalization, okay, I don't want to put the so much weight on my kids because I think they are too young, then it's kind of selfish because our world today, and if we compare to our young age before or our world age before, it's totally different. So we can always put what was our stories in the generation nowadays. So it's going to be beneficial for them if we are trying to be more flexible and if we as parents or caregiver or teachers try to develop the growth mindset and try to explore new things as well. So it's never too early to start talking, singing, or reading to your baby. The key is just being aware of the milestone your child is passing through as they are developing, so you can take advantage of them. Babies who participate in face-to-face communication are more likely to have higher intelligence scores later on in life than those who don't. But there are many other benefits, including better social skills and a great ability to communicate effectively with others. Like I have said before, the best time actually to start communicating with the baby is when they are still in pregnancy past or just after you give birth or just after they were born, because we try to stimulate their brain. They start to listen or start to hear what we have said, and it really can develop their language ability in their brain since the early age. And when it comes and when it compared to those babies or those children who doesn't even have such a stimulation, then it's going to be different, because the thing and the point is our brain is like muscle. When we are trying to get muscles, for example, for our body, we tend to train it every day, every single day. And if we skip 3 days or a week after that, then it might get weakened. And it's also same with our brains. As we are reading something new, for example, or the baby start to listening a song or maybe a simple instrument, or start to seeing a picture, then they got the new neurons on their brain. And when the pathways, the neural pathways get connected to each other and get the synapse, when it transmits the information, it actually can get stronger when there is a repetition. So it's really important to understand that we have to develop the new activities, try to explore something new to the children. Don't be too afraid, like, oh, it's too, don't do that because it might be too dirty, or don't do that, you might get sick. That's okay. We can let the children to explore anything, because when they try to explore something, when we don't force or push them too much in so many rules without acknowledging what actually the lesson they might get after doing that, then we actually stop them from growing. So it's important for the teachers, parents, and also caregivers to notice it. So there are two types of brain plasticity. So first of all, what is neuroplasticity or the brain plasticity? It's a brain's ability to change and adapt. And the first is a structural plasticity. We can get it by the experiences or memories and change a brain physical structure. Like I have said, that brain is like a muscle. So when there is something new experience, or when you get the new memories about something, then it's going to shape or it's going to change something. It's going to, whether it's going to add new neurons or strengthen the neural pathways, or maybe kind of the new activity might weaken the old patterns and destroy it completely. So that's what we call a structural plasticity. We get it by experiencing something or maybe having a memory. So just imagine, like, when we don't start the early brain development in the children, how could they get a better structural plasticity? So when they are trying to get a kind of activity that engage their brain, for sure it's going to get a better physical structure in the brain. And the second one is the functional plasticity. It's a brain functions move from damaged area to undamaged area. It's like in a stroke patient. So brain plasticity refers to the brain's ability, like you have seen on the screen, to change and adapt itself. And it's what allows us to learn new things. And it can even help us recover from brain injuries. And in fact, one of the best ways we have at our disposal today to treat brain injuries like stroke, Parkinson, and Alzheimer's disease is by encouraging brain plasticity through rehabilitation therapy. And all of these are just different aspects of the same process. And taking an understimulated brain and actively trying to rewire it using repetitive process, it's going to help it much better than not doing nothing. And there is no battery on the back of your head that you can recharge when your mental energy runs low. So remember, you have to be aware, because our body is not like a robot or a doll that you have a on-off switch that you can turn it when you want to. So you have to be aware all the time, and it's really better to teach the children since the young age, so they can have more flexibility to control their mind, which might influence their attitude, their result of something. And of course, it's going to help them to get better life in the future. So the brain plasticity and cognitive benefits of early brain stimulation. So research has shown that cognitive stimulation has a positive effect on the brain development and plasticity during infancy, like the first 5 years. All the speakers already mentioned. And this research is important because it shows that the first 5 years of life are the most critical years for brain development and therefore cognitive growth as well. And also, it also suggests that children who are not exposed to cognitive stimulation before the age of 5 will experience difficulties in cognitive functioning throughout their lives. In addition to this, it has been shown that a greater number of synapses or the connection between the neurons, like you have said in the previous slide before, are formed at a younger age than older age. So it stands to reason that the more connections formed at a young age, the greater the ability for learning, memory, and intelligence will be. Because, yeah, of course, we all have a synapse because it is the activity what is going to help we transmit the information that we receive from the outer world or out of our body. But when we talk about the synapses and the children, they got much better functioning. So it's really important to strengthen, or let's say training or exercising it in the early age. So later on in their life, they can get much benefits than those who don't even try to do the stimulation. So a study by Dr. Richard Hare and his colleagues at UCR showed that there was an increased density in the hippocampus, or responsible for memory in the brain, and the frontal lobe in charge of attention span and problem-solving skills in adults who had enriched environment during early childhood. The researchers took MRIs of the brains of adults who have lived in either an enriched environment or a controlled environment from birth to age 5. And the results show a dramatic difference in both brain structures and cognitive abilities between the two groups. The structure of the hippocampus was larger in those with an enriched early environment. Why? Because they got exercise in the early age. Because the brain is totally really like a muscle. The more you're trying to do something in the back, the more neurons you get, the more synapses get connected. So when it's becomes so much alive, let's say, then it becomes larger and bigger. Then if you stop, if you do nothing on your brain, if you don't exercise about something, then it's going to be just like that all the time. But when you try to do any kind of activities, learn new skills, or even just simple figure out the title or maybe the lyrics of the songs, or maybe learn language, it's going to really build a new pathways and make it stronger, make it larger, make it bigger. That's why many people have said that when we might take out the brain of those people who don't want to think, it might get clearer. But when we take out the brain of those critical thinker person, then we might get such a complex, because they got so much neurons and it connects to each other, and yeah, they get more million connection because they really exercising it a lot. So early brain stimulation has proven to help children with many mental disorders as well. But is it doing more than just treating them? And what makes it so special? And actually, it depends on who you ask. Because many scientists and doctors believe that early brain stimulation can change the way the brain functions. This means that it will be significantly different in adulthood than a brain that has not been stimulated at such a young age. Other people think that the changes it causes are actually better in any sense, and these changes may not be noticeable or would come later in life after continuous therapy, but they make people's cognitive functions better, making their brains more likely to retain information, react positively to new information, and solve problems quickly. And scientists and doctors are still seeing whether early brain stimulation is making people's brain more likely to excel at things later on in life, or in other words, if one can make use the difference now as opposed to later. So with all the research, with all the studies that have been conducted in their previous time, it really has been proven that it's better to us as parents, caregivers, or maybe teachers as well to do a brain stimulation, because it's really going to help the cognitive skills as well in the children's, and it will be beneficial for their future. So to conclude my speech for today, it's clear from the studies review that there are strong link between early stimulation, particularly auditory delay, and the enhanced development of the brain, and the fact that this type of stimulation is so beneficial to brain development. And in the special at-risk children is something everyone should consider if they have or are expecting children. So if you're expecting children, or if you're already a teacher or a parent, it's really great if you want to get a better connection with your kids, or maybe if you expect your kids to be someone who becomes really great in their later life, because it's such a manageable thing. We actually can manage it properly when we know it. The problem nowadays is that some people is such a denial. They don't want even try it because they refuse, because some parents I know, like, they still think like, okay, I don't want to put stress in my children because they are too early to learn something. Actually, when the parents say that, they just don't know the background of the brain, and actually they have to try or ask those people who got experiences or who got some knowledge on it, instead of directly say like they don't want to their children try to learn something new or many things in the early age. Because in fact, you can try to teach your kids, your children, your students, but doing a milestone. We're not going to give them a whole things at the same time. There will be a milestone that they can complete by the time, and it's actually really easy to find kind of the milestone from the babies till the 5 years old, or maybe from the 5 till the 10 till the teenager. You can find it online. Maybe you don't have kind of idea of what will be the milestone look like for my children, and you can find it online, and you can find any kind of the information that you want, because we live in our digital age and we have to get the most beneficial for it. We have to explore new things, and the thing is, we gotta be the person with the growth mindset, so we don't put ourselves in certain position. When we want to learn or explore many new things, and or maybe when we are flexible and open for new things, then we get more curious to explore something, to develop something, and especially to develop a brain since the early age, because it's really important if we think about the future ladder to the young generation. So if something as simple as white noise or talking could positively impact your child development, why wouldn't you try it? I think there's no one excuse that all parents or all caregivers is going to avoid it. So it's better to start it. Maybe just simple try to listening an instrument, or maybe just reading a book that's full of pictures and so on, and just try to explore something new, and you're going to find a ladder, and you will be thankful for yourself as well, because you're trying to develop your children in the early age. Because maybe you cannot see the result now, because we cannot get the instant result, because we are not making a noodles, right? We are trying to make a human being grow, so it takes time. Even if we cannot see the result right now, we might find out later and we might be grateful for it. So I have faith that all the studies, all the research that people have shown, people have found out, it's going to be beneficial, and we only have to adapt with it and try to implement it in our children or in our students as well. I think that's all my speech for today. Thanks for listening. I hope you can take something from my speech today. I'm giving back to Iman Ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my dear sister. Really, you are amazing. Every time you are amazing. Thank you very much. You added a lot to our knowledge. Awesome lecture. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we need to transfer to the next speaker. And thank you, Dr. Hardiana. Now I need to call our last but not the least, our last speaker, Miss Ushini.
Ashwini.
Sorry?
Ashwini.
Yes. Ashwini. I am so sorry, my dear sister.
No, it's okay, ma'am. It's okay.
Ashwini,
Most
Ashwini
welcome.
Pansare. Ashwini Pansare.
Yes. Now it's the time of the lecture of Miss Ashwini. Let's welcome her, and the floor is yours. So please go ahead.
Thank you so much,
Most
Iman. ma'am.
welcome, ma'am. Most welcome.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, very good evening to all of you. It's a privilege and honor to giving me this amazing opportunity on this global platform. Thank you so much, Ravi Shankar sir, Sonal ma'am, Iman ma'am, and all the eminent personalities on this great platform for this
Most welcome, ma'am.
wonderful expertise from overall NEP subject. So now today I am going to deliver my thoughts on brain development at an early stage. Previous three eminent speakers already done everything. Means what is the ECCE, what NEP says, what to do in the early childhood stage, then how the brain development up to the age of 5. Everything is done by previous three speakers. So now very less part is remaining for me. Thank you so much. So now I want to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. My screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, visible, but please do it on the slideshow mode. Press F5. Are you using mobile or laptop?
No, laptop, ma'am.
Okay, so press F5.
Now is
You
it
can-
okay?
No, it's okay. We can see it, but it will be better if you can do it on the slideshow mode. You need to press F5.
Yes,
do you know?
F5 only I pressed.
Yes,
ma'am.
F5, F5. After escape, you have F1, F2, F3, F4, then F5. So press F5.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I think now it's on slideshow mode. Correct, no?
No. It's clear, but we need it to be in the slideshow mode. It will be better for the view.
Am I audible?
Yes, it's okay now.
Okay, you can go ahead. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, please unmute yourself, my dear sister. You muted yourself. Unmute.
Yes, actually I'm trying for full screen. That's why.
Press F5 or the cup. The cup is beside Zoom. you can see a number, I think it's 69 or something like this percentage. Beside it, there is a button has a cup shape.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Ashwini?
Welcome,
Ashwini?
Nihama.
Yes, actually near 68, there is one glass sort of a thing. You can press that also.
Yes, this one.
Yes.
Thanks, Nihama. Yes, this one, please press on it.
Yes, you just
Yes.
press it, then it will be
It's
slightly.
okay. It's okay. I think it's okay now.
Just press once.
Please press on this. Already
Yes,
you
now
reached
okay,
to
ma'am.
it. No, please press on it again. I think you reached to it, but please press on it. After 60, I think it's a 66
Yes,
or
same
68
done.
percentage. Beside it, there is a cup shape button. Or F5, as you like. Thank you, Nehama. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, my dear sister, if you can't, please continue. If you can't, don't worry, please continue. But it will be better for us.
Okay.
You are on mute, ma'am. Ashwini, ma'am. You are on mute.
I think she is trying. So if you can't, please go ahead. You can continue. If you can't maximize it, so go ahead. Continue, my dear sister. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. These are the objectives to highlight the importance of early brain and child development. As we all know that NEP says early childhood care and education means this is the foundational stage of learning. So over 85% of a child's cumulative brain development occurs prior to the age of 6, indicating the critical importance of appropriate care and stimulation of the brain in the early years in order to ensure healthy brain development and growth. To review what influences shape the developing brain. Ma'am, just 1 minute. Huh? I need a charger actually.
Okay, my dear sister.
To discuss what we can do to promote the optimal early brain development. See, change the first 5 years and you change everything. Just now, our previous speaker told that up to the age of 5 means whatever the brain development, it's completely depend on not a visualization but genetic, then whatever the other characters. So here we can see the 90% of a child's brain development happens before age of 5. 0 to 3 years old, it's completely the absorption period. Now, in absorption period, what exactly done? Whatever the things which are going to flexible, then multifaceted, multi-level,
Hello, sister. You stopped the screen share? Did you stop the screen share? However, it's okay regarding full screen, but you stopped it. Okay. I think you are resharing it. Please share your screen again.
Just give me 1 minute.
Okay, my dear sister, take your time. Yes, my dear sister, your screen is visible, but you are not audible. So please go ahead. The screen is okay now.
Yes, now it's visible, no, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. So 0 to 3 years old, it's completely a absorption period. Means here, whatever the child can see, like a visualization, means the childhood development, the care, whatever the participation, what they are doing, like our first speaker only told that whenever they want to draw something on the wall, so parents can easily angry on them. So instead of anger, if we appreciate them like a very good and all, otherwise we can show them a proper track. So it's like a absorption period. Means this is a good example given by first speaker. So that time only they should know that exactly where to draw and how to draw, and even whatever the pen, paper, pencil method, they can easily grasp. And accordingly, the ethics, personal, and whatever the developmental education they can access. Now the next stage is 3 to 6 years old, consolidation period. So like fundamental foundational literacy and numeracy. So here we can consider both parameters, literacy as well as numeracy. Means whatever the ECC, Anganwadi, till the age of 5, in the preparatory class or in the Balvatika, when the teachers showing them some role play, some drama, some things in front of them with the help of visualized parts, so they can easily grasp, they can easily access and enabling them to participate as well. And the next is output period. Here, after the age of 5, parents as well as teachers can identify uh, emotional intelligence, logistic intelligence, then visualization and the grasping power as well as IQ. Here, how the brain development start. First, this is the very important factor, that opportunity. Means probably what happened, no? when child doing some things, like if pen, pencil in their hand, they can draw everywhere. If the things in their hand, they can throw anywhere. So like means during that time, teachers are also can anger on them, parents can also anger on them. So instead of that, if we give the opportunity to them, they will be happy and they can participate and show their interest, show their skill. Means not they want to show the skill, but we can easily understand what exactly they want to do, and that is nothing but the education. So opportunity is very important factor. So automatically they can grasp the skill from 0% to 15% to 20 to 35 to 40 to 90. Okay, then potential. After the continuous and consistent activities performed by the
Actually,
child,
mom,
we
please,
can,
I'm so sorry for interrupt you, but
yes,
the screen is fixed on the first slide. So if you wanted to change, please go ahead. It's fixed on the first slide. You,
okay,
hello?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry for interrupt you, but I want you to continue.
Okay, okay, yes.
Go ahead,
So
please.
after the skill, potential, then intelligence, creativity, and memory. Here, as per the science, what biology, physiological adaptations and disruptions, then what neuroscience says, epigenetics, the basic science of pediatrics, how the health and development, how the ecology, means like a social and physical environment. So every time surrounding also matter. Nowadays, just we are observing that because of nuclear families, both parents are working, both parents are going to job, so students are completely means completely single at home. So they are not able to cope up with other things which are useful for their improvement, for their development. So accordingly only their learning behavior and physical and mental well-being goes down and down. So this is the very important life course during the brain development. Next. Next is promote the 5 hours of early childhood education. Here we can see reading together as a daily family activity. See, what means it totally depends on communication. If the communication is proper and enough with the children's, then automatically they can uh, observe the pronunciation, so their literacy level goes on increasing. Then rhyming, playing, talking, singing, and cuddling together often. So during the poem, if we do the action, they will easily get understand. Then routines also the matter. What are the 5 hours? So in that third is routine. Routines and regular times for meals, play, and sleeping, which help children know what they can expect and what is expected of them. Then rewards. Rewards for everyday successes, realizing that praise from those closest to a child is very potent reward. Then
Sister,
relationships.
sister,
Relationships
please.
that, yes, ma'am.
Sorry for interrupting you, but you are still fixed on the first slide. You need to press enter or up and down to move between
My slide
slides.
is not visible, ma'am.
No, only fixed at the first one. This is a problem. You need to press enter or up and down. You are okay. I know that you are excellent speaker, but we need to
Now it's
look
visible,
to
ma'am.
your
Now it's visible.
only fixed at the first one. I can
Means only
see the
first slide
title
you
and
can
your
see.
name only. It's fixed
Only
on the
first
first.
slide you can see, ma'am.
Yes, it's fixed on the first slide.
Okay, just
For
let
this
me.
reason, I am stopping you. I'm so sorry, but
Now
we want
now slide is moving.
no first one. Can you reshare it? I'm so sorry. Can you reshare it?
Yes, ma'am. Just give me time.
Take your
Ma'am,
time, my dear sister.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, Neha ma'am, welcome.
Yes, actually, Ashwini ma'am, what you can do is you can stop sharing,
Yes.
and then when you start sharing, you have to use the first option, that is the screen option, so that it starts moving. I think you must have selected the PPT option. That's why it's not moving.
Yes, ma'am.
So
She
please
stopped
try that.
now. She stopped the
Yes,
slide
PPT
share.
option. Yes.
So please don't share
Yes.
the PPT option. The first option, that is the screen. So if you share the whole
Screen.
screen, then the whole screen will move properly.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
ma'am. Okay. I will do.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Highly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Most welcome. Yes, excellent. Go ahead, my dear sister.
Now it's visible, no, ma'am?
Yes, it's visible and movable. Please choose your slide and continue.
Yes.
See the parts
Moving
and the
Yes.
now?
picture of the kids.
It's
Yeah.
full screen also. Excellent.
Yes, moving,
Yes.
no?
Yes, moving.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, excellent.
So
Thank
now
you.
these are the 5 hours of early childhood education. So the fourth one is rewards. Rewards for everyday successes, realizing that praise from those closest to a child is a very potent reward, because we know that in all the relationship or in all the entire atmosphere and scenario, the rewards is very important. Then relationships that are the reciprocal, nurturing, and enduring are the foundation of healthy child development. Here we can see, means this is the activity based education. If we simply ask them to speak in the with the help of means with teachers like A for apple and B for ball and C for cat, so no use at all. But instead of that, if we show them a single word, so everyone want to participate in that. Even they can compare. If my neighbor or child can doing the same thing, so why should not I? Means why not I? So likewise, in this picture, we can see the different type of activities, picture based activities. Then one of the English activity, that how they can identify the A to Z words. So this is nothing but the visualization. And NEP says the same. In ECCE stage, in the preparatory stage, in the foundational stage, activity based learning is very important. Here also we can see the activities, color identification, things identification, group participation. Everyone want to participate in the same. So in this first picture, appreciation, rewards, just now we have seen. So reward is necessary, because if one will get the reward, one will get the appreciation, automatically other children can tell their parents, today these things are happening in classroom, so why not means why I did not get that particular prize or certificate or whatever the things given by teachers, or simple chocolates as well. So likewise, so means this is very important during the pre-primary education. So means as per NEP or as per the restructured curriculum, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So when they are taking the admission in playgroup and nursery classes, their complete stage is preparatory stage. So during that stage only, they can grasp these 5 hours. Next is, here also, for example, we can consider this as a blue color day celebration. Means they know what is exactly the color identification, what is the blue color. But if we want to show them the different things which related with the blue color, so here what the teaching aids teachers have to use during their teaching learning process, so student can easily identify. Yes, this is the blue color. So the different things they want to carry or they want to show in front of teachers. Here in last picture, we can see the storytelling activity is there. So what this story tells? We know that lion means this story tells that how the exactly they can identify or they can conclude the moral of the story. So these are the different art integration activities as well as some clay making activities, and they want to identify or they want to participate in a not individually but in a group. Here reflection: the smaller the mirror, the better I feel about myself. So just now I told that reward, recognition, appreciation, that matters, because if the child doing some extra or over smartness things in front of all the students or during classroom teaching, so that time, instead of scolding them, if we appreciate them and if we want to ask them do the same thing in front of all the children, so automatically uh, stage stage daring development takes place. And uh, during that, the uh, early childhood development says that, means they can easily observe, yes I can do, and with means happily they can discuss all the things with their parents. Here value education, just Dr. Neha ma'am told that value education is totally important in the preparatory stage. So, what is the purpose of this? The aim of giving value education is to provide the holistic education to students from K-12 that addresses not only their physical and intellectual development but the spiritual aspects as well. And that's why assembly is very important. Correct? No. So during assembly only we can tell them some moral, we give them some moral education, value based education. What are the important values in the preparatory stage? Cleanliness, discipline, then means other also. What are the spiritual aspects? So we can show them. Here, Ubuntu is a very nice story from Africa. The motivation behind the Ubuntu culture in Africa. An anthropologist purposed a game to the African tribal children. He placed a basket of sweets near a tree and made the children stand 100 meters away. Then announced that whoever reaches first would get all the sweets in the basket. When he said, ready, steady, go. So, do you know what these children did? They all held each other's hand, ran together towards the tree, divided the sweets equally among themselves, ate the sweets, and enjoyed it. So, when the anthropologist asked them why they did so, they answered, it's a Ubuntu. It means that how can one be happy when the others are sad? And this whole education they can get from their family, whatever it may be joint, whatever it may be nuclear, but it totally depends on the overall performance of their parents, what kind of parenting they are doing. So the develop means children can develop during that stage. So automatically their subconscious mind, soul, brain completely ready or absorbed the things which are going on daily basis. So the Ubuntu in their language means I am because we are. And it's a really wonderful, means from the preparatory stage, if student can understand what is a team, how we can do things smoothly and simply with the help of our friends, with the help of our groups. So this is a strong message for all the generations. Let all of us always have this attitude to spread the happiness wherever we go, because we know that comparison matters in each and every stage, not only in the preparatory stage, not only up to the age of 5, even in the current generation, means not a generation, but up from the childhood up to the adulthood stage. When the comparison takes place, automatically our mind get motivate and we can do the simple things very smoothly. So let's have a Ubuntu life. I am because we are. Here we can see what learning outcomes from the reflection. Here we can see equality, and in the next picture, equity. Which picture you would rate the most appropriate? In the first picture, we can see that third child cannot see the exact what going on. But in the next picture, these both the children or these both the peoples help him, and he can easily see what is exactly going on. So equality and equity is very important, because we are observing in our daily teaching learning process. Even sometimes teachers are also doing the same things. Those who are topper students, even in the play group and even in nursery, those who can talk easily, those who can dance easily, those who can sing a poem easily with actions and all, teachers simply appreciate to those 4 5 children. But those who are not ready to do in front of entire class, so that is not equality and equity. So it's a teacher's duty to encourage them, ask them to participate, help them. So that means that time only they can easily take a interest. Here, student achievement in a school almost never exceeds the quality of leadership and management, and improvements in performance almost never occur in the absence of leadership. What are the innovative teaching and learning strategies? So, blended learning, and this is a very important in the current education system. Then gamification of learning, multiliteracies, computational thinking, embodied learning, and experiential learning. So same NEP asks the same to implement all these things in your education, in your teaching learning process. Then and then the learning outcomes you can automatically see. Means don't follow the chalk and board method. Better if you all will follow the blended learning, gamification, then multiliteracies, experiential learning, then the result will be completely 100%. So which are the methods? Quantitative methods and qualitative methods. The measurement of learning outcomes are undertaken through the assessments are both qualitative and quantitative in nature. Here we can see the picture. Free ice cream. Only 1 in 30 take the free ice cream. Interesting. In the second picture, what did you feel when you saw the free ice cream? See, and excited and a little scared. And why was that? Means, what is the exact conclusion, or quantitative methods and qualitative methods? So in the education system also we want the same. We don't want the quantity, but we want to provide the quality education. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but it's a habit. And that is very important when teachers and student communication is going on during their teaching. Not only this is not only for teachers, but it's a good thought for parenting as well. Here we can see the goal of creating a period every day for the spiritual curriculum in a school is to give a chance to students to receive a well-rounded curriculum that develops not only their body, not only their mind, but their soul too. Means after the value education, after the moral education, they are completely happy with their entire team, with the teachers, even after schooling hours, when they will reaching to home, they can happily share the entire things which they had observed during the school hours. So after the entire topic, the we can see the Albert Einstein main important and very interesting thought. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is a stupid. So this is the best sentence by Albert Einstein. So the same thing I want to share with all the educators, not only educators, but even uh, parents, teaching staff, leaders, principals, educators, entire team. Appreciation, motivation, inspiration, these are the very important factors because if we appreciate the students, automatically their interest of learning goes on increasing and follow the drama role play means like a experiential learning methods. So thank you so much all of you and
Thank
sorry
you very
for
much. Don't
sorry
worry,
for
my dear
PPT
sister.
disturbance. Yes.
Don't worry at all. Really, you are awesome. You did very smart lecture. Thank you very much. We are very happy and we are proud by your lecture and by your performance. Thank you. So don't apologize for anything already. You did a lot. Thank you very much. And now we need to ask all respected speakers if there is anyone to be added. And also we need to call our respected motivator, our reviewer, Dr. Petikar. So all of you are welcome. We are going to finish, but we have 5 minutes to finish. So the floor is yours. If any one of you wanted to add anything, please go ahead. So let's call all speakers. We need to start by Dr. Sutaba. Do you have to add anything, Dr. Sutaba? Hello?
Just thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sonal ma'am, once again.
Dr. Sutapa, I would like to ask you one advice for everyone before going.
Yes, please.
One action pointer.
Yes, ma'am.
One action pointer for all the educators. One sure short advice for everyone.
A sure short advice for everyone would be when it comes to the brain development, let's all be very mindful and conscious as parents, as teachers, as educators, because what we show them today, they are going to show us tomorrow.
Wonderful. That is why they say vibes travel through signals. Good.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunil. And let's go to the next speaker. Thank you, Dr. Sutaba. Thank you very much. And let's go to the second speaker, I think Dr. Hardiana or Dr. Neha. Dr. Neha is not around. Dr. Neha, are you with us? Are you here? No. So Dr. Hardiana, do you want to add anything, please?
Okay, I think
we need one advice from your side.
Okay, so I think my advice for all the generations, not only for the young age, we all have to be eager to learn and to have a curiosity to explore something new because it's going to really shape our brains and going to help our future. Even if we cannot see it now, we might figure out later on our lives. So we have to be open and try to get some curiosity, even if we are getting bored of something. I think just it.
Excellent, excellent. So let's move to the last speak. Dr. Ashwini, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. So
Please, we need the advice to educators.
stay confident and positive in your life. Then
Excellent.
almost all the things comes to everyone. And one suggestion
Excellent.
for parents that don't expect too much from your children's. Whatever they are doing, they are knowing what they are doing. So just push them, give them positive energy, give them motivation, and every day just appreciate them for their work, whatever it may be study, whatever it may be their job duties and all. Because in the current generation, time has been completely changed. So accordingly, the current generation scenario, all parents, I really want to request to all the parents that just motivate their child, give them positive energy, and just as a parents, you always think positive. So everything will come to you. Thank you so much.
Awesome and amazing speakers of the day. Really, we are very happy by your presence. And thank you very much for your presence and for your valuable knowledge. Already you shared a lot of knowledge, so appreciation must come to all of you. And let's welcome our great reviewer of the day, Dr. Petikar. So we need to hear from your side. Hello, sir.
Hello, madam.
Most welcome. We are very happy by your presence. Most welcome.
Thank you, madam, Iman, madam, and you are supporting to today Sonal, madam, because I think she's having had something throat problem, and every resource person, respected resource persons of today's special brain development at early age. So the topic is discussed on every dimension with all the resource persons. They are giving tips to all the educators and teachers how we develop the child student through the brain, as activities are related to child development. At the same time, nutrition, physical growth of that brain is necessary with the nutrients also. The resource person have also highlighted that. So more and more communication with the child, more and more attractive interactive with him, more and more talking with the objectives and interactive way with all the surroundings observations. So this type of communication of parents or teachers give the boost to the development of the brain of that child. Thank you, madam. You are daily you are micro studying the national education policy. I doesn't think that this much type of study is done anywhere, because every point you are daily giving more dimension to that with this subject expert. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, Petikar, sir. All of us are happy by your presence. Now we need to finalize the day. After finishing the day, just I wanted to say that we have a great moderator. We have our great sister, Dr. Sonel, ma'am. However, she's not feeling good, but she is with us till the last moment. So let's appreciate you, Sonel, ma'am, and appreciation to all great speakers. Really, all of you are doing awesome lectures and great work. Thanks a lot to all of you, and appreciation to IDYM. Thanks, Ravi, sir, and Miss Donnell and Jinasma. All of you are doing amazing and awesome thing. Thank you a lot, and let's say bye-bye. Inshallah, we will meet tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks to our lovely moderator, Dr. Sunil, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.